All right. Welcome, one and all, to the finale of the Rifter series. Today I am graced with the presence of my lovely husband
Hello.
and our good friend Cody.
Hi.
Side note for listeners, this episode is going to be about the final book of the Rifter series by Peter Watts. If you haven't listened to the previous episodes or read the books, you're gonna be lost in the sauce. Also, here's some trigger warnings for the themes we're likely to discuss in this episode: murder, rape and sexual abuse, kidnapping, plagues, and to foreshadow some of my own opinions, a lot of patriarchy. I could never tell where the series was going to go. From the very beginning, I really enjoyed a lot of the aspects of Starfish as a standalone book.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get to Maelstrom. And Maelstrom, for me, content-wise, not as good of a book, but the writing style was pretty good.
Yeah. So full disclosure, the only reason why I recommended this series was because you had actually talked to me about a book, Mountain and the Sea.
Yep.
And this was recent. I had recently read Starfish and Maelstrom, and I was like, "Oh, these have some similar themes as far as oceanic sci-fi." So that's why I recommended this one. But my actual first foray into Peter Watts was Blindsight, and
I've heard that's really, really good.
it is immaculate. I can't stress enough how much more I enjoyed Blindsight than this Rifter series. But the Rifter series just happened to have some themes that matched with what you were already into.
Yeah.
So that's why I recommended it. But yeah, it's one of those series that you really can't tell where it's going until you get there. And honestly, I thought I knew where it was going, and it completely blew me, for a loop. So
Yeah.
I'd enjoyed personally because like you said, usually you can tell where an author's going with things, and then when they pleasantly surprise you, it's fun. But sometimes at the end of that journey, you're kind of left wanting because they didn't quite hit the mark the way you thought they would, if that makes sense. So, but Blindsight, if anybody listening is into Peter Watts for any, and you haven't checked out Blindsight, definitely check out Blindsight. It's much more solid of a sci-fi series.
Yeah, I think out of all the books, I think when I was doing my little short dive on Peter Watts, I think Blindside was one of, if not the top rated novel that he's released. So,
and it has vampires. Spoiler alert.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can see why it would be highly rated. Then that's a very big push in pop culture.
Float your boat.
So Maelstrom, hands down, is my favorite of the series, and yeah, my least favorite is probably the one that we're going to be discussing today.
Yeah, same. Actually, I could say perhaps maybe Starfish is my favorite, actually, which is crazy because I didn't really give it a good review. But now I'm thinking back on it and putting it into context. I don't know. I remember it fondly.
Nostalgia sets in quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to start where we left off on the last episode, which would have been Behemoth B-Max. Do you remember Behemoth B-Max? I know you do. You're traumatized, I'm sure. What about you?
Vaguely remember stuff and things about it.
What do you remember, perhaps?
I lied. I don't think I remember anything, if we're being honest.
Thank you for your honesty.
I can't remember. I remember there being like wars underwater.
Okay.
And like
that's something.
Boss mommy, the
Rowan,
booty bitch, whatever, got killed, if I'm not mistaken.
She did die, yeah.
She got killed in like some type of airlock situation.
True.
And yeah, that's about all I remember. And then the disease, if I'm not mistaken, transitioned to make, was it humans or the fish more savage, like more animalistic, like aggressive?
No, it was just Behemoth itself. And now because previously it would not affect fish, which is why everyone got their genes resituated, spliced. But now it has changed somehow, quote unquote. And it is going to kill fish as well as humans that have spliced genes.
Yeah, so not only do the fish have this new version, but they're actually getting sick from it.
Yeah. Great job. So, Ken Lubin
B. Gubin
and Lenny Clark are prepping to go on like a journey to the surface. Their tenuous peace with the corpses was disturbed by what Ken has determined is an outside force. I don't know how much you remember, but like there were bombs, and each side, like the corpses and the rifters that were left underwater, were thinking each other were like engaging in subterfuge. This ringing bells.
But it turns out it was a third party the whole time.
Yeah, I think I remember some. I mean, I think, for being honest, anything that involves like somewhat politics or like having the secret third party sort of deal, fighting and pulling the strings between two sides fighting each other, I'm not going to be as interested in as much as like.
That's all Maelstrom was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Got it.
Well, I think the concepts behind Maelstrom are really cool. Like how.
If you have no idea about computer coding.
Yes. But I do remember, if I'm not mistaken, B-Max, the ending of B-Max, or at least what you had left off was, what's his face? Killjoy?
Desjardins.
Yeah, Desjardins.
Dan. Desjardins.
Desjardins crashing out.
He was a naughty boy.
He coming everywhere. Fucking, and then
You're not gonna like.
Got a freaking boner when his sister's legs fucking turned into a lawn chair.
You specifically called her spaghetti.
Oh, sick. Yeah, that's pretty fair. I agree with that.
Yeah, so Desjardins tends to, like in this book, you will see more of that and worse. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So strap in, get cozy.
Strap in, strap on.
Yeah.
All of that.
Better in than on, you know what I'm saying?
This was actually really bad. It was really hard to read. Boob mutilation. That's all I got to say.
Boob mutilation?
Mastectomy.
That's a big word for Elmo.
It is. I'm sorry. Well, the anesthetics weren't involved either. So, you know, there's that.
All natural.
Okay.
The nip goes first. If that helps.
As it should.
I don't like it here.
I don't like this game anymore.
As all good mastectomies to go.
So Ken figured out that all of the stuff that was happening was being puppeteered by an unknown enemy, and he decides that he's going to head northwest. The Americas are quarantined after the remaining countries have witnessed the shit show post-Starfish, and most of the Rifters' war contacts have vanished. Ken wants to return topside with the following goals in mind. And also, if I say anything that's like not quite accurate, because you seem to have understood some stuff that I missed, let me know.
Okay.
He wants to find his contacts, figure out if they're alive, figure out what is happening on the mainland, and find out who is trying to wipe out Atlantis, maybe commit some joy kills if he can get away with it. Ken does not want Lenny to come to the surface with him. He's fairly sure that regardless of her skills, she's going to slow him down. She insists anyway, and they begin an underwater trek to land and hopes to find out who is sabotaging their underwater hideaway and why. Since Atlantis is one of the few places that Behemoth was supposed to be incapable of appearing, the gang see the attack as something not only against the Rifters and like the local legion of corpse personnel, but against the survival of the human race.
Big if true.
Big if true. Now, the very beginning here is where I start to kind of have some issues. Ken is a very hard dude, and I get that. He's a mean green killing machine. Too hard, actually. But he's been by Lenny's side for years. They've fought together in a war between them and the corporate elites for a very long time. They're the closest thing each other has to a friend. And from the very beginning, he's treating her like a ball and chain. He acts like she isn't the most resilient person he's ever met. I hold a bit of a flame for the idea that he wants to be protective in a way. That even though he's claiming she's going to like ruin the mission, Watts really wants the reader to infer that Kenny thinks of Clark as a sort of sister and wants to keep her in Atlantis while he quote unquote deals with the bad guys. What's your take?
Yeah, I could see that. In my opinion, I feel like the facade of familiarity between Lenny and Killjoy, or not Killjoy, sorry.
Ken.
it starts to crack, and Lenny Clark starts to, get in her head that maybe this person that I've known and been around for years and years isn't quite who she thought he was. And a little later, you kind of see that is the case,
Yeah. Such a sad take.
Well, I mean, I'm not the
I think Watts really wanted that take. I think he wants, like, I made a mention before of in the series, everyone is the worst possible version of themselves all the time.
Yeah.
And in accordance with that, I think you are correct. Lenny, regardless of Ken's defiance, and Ken hop into a submarine-style vehicle and head off to land. As a reminder, they're cautious of going online at all to reach out to any contacts that they may have had. The, Lenny's, quote-unquote, or the Meltdown Madonnas, which in this book they're often called M&Ms, are tearing through any available networks. There is no more wildlife like there was in Maelstrom. Most everything is empty or hostile in the internet of it all. So we were talking previously about how, viruses were...
sapient.
Yeah, and evolving.
Yeah.
In a Darwinism way.
Mm-hmm. Only much faster because, computer code can go through generations much quicker than biology can.
Yeah, kind of like how AI right now is currently teaching itself and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Similar, yeah.
And it's become a full-grown adult in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
From infancy to adulthood, 5.
Well, which it was anemone back in previous books.
Yeah.
Because anemone is a protective thing for the fish. And it was protecting her. Lenny Clark was the clownfish, and anemone was her shelter.
But it was the code that was replicating based around Lenny Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that code has become the Lenny's or the Meltdown Madonna. So what's happening is whenever that entity is introduced into anyone's network,
shreds it.
Yeah, they also call them shredders. It just wants to tear apart everything. They're screaming. If you see them visually, they're like these ghostly wraiths that are coming through.
Hi, I'm Lenny, and I'm here to fuck shit up.
They end up at a facility that was stationed at one point in the past, and even though it isn't empty because of Behemoth, it is quite empty. Lubin's going through the facility and trying to find this recording device that he had planted. It was in a crevice, and he had even painted over it, but it's gone. And you can tell that he is shaken at the time. He tells Clark that whoever did this is smarter than him, which is a big deal for this guy to admit. We have no idea at this point who is in charge anymore. It could even be that things are actually being ran by whatever leftover formulas and automations still exist, regardless of there not being anyone actually at the wheel of the ship of humanity. They head towards Halifax. I, as an average American, had no idea what that was. Apparently, Halifax is actually the capital of Nova Scotia and is known for its large natural harbor. The city is filled with a cloud of electricity that can only be seen through Ken's special lenses. Ken uses to Lenny that the cloud is made of neurons, much like the gels or head cheese of bygone days, and how he thinks it's used to detect and destroy behemoth particles. He knows they're going to have to punch through this barrier. At the time, they hear some alarms go off from some sort of attack, and they attempt to use that to get through without being detected. And then we are going to meet Taka Woolette. Favorite character in the entire series. I love Taka.
Taka's probably one of my favorite characters as well. She's my hero.
10 out of 10.
I ain't got no favorites because I don't know what's going on.
I mean, you know some people sometimes.
I know some stuff.
You know some stuff.
I know Lenny Kravitz.
Lenny Clark.
Character.
Lenny Clark.
American Woman.
So actually, I lied. Taka's not my favorite character. My favorite character is the head cheese.
I want to be a head cheese. So.
I know you do.
The head cheese that doomed humanity?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I want to be a gelatinous group of neurons.
That's what we were talking about. I was like, gel me up, fam. I'm ready to get put in a vegetative state.
She is my favorite. Taka is my favorite character in the entire series. She is a caricature of a worn-torn Peace Corps medic You guys are just giggling.
We're just making shit up.
So we have Taka, and then we have a mobile infirmary that she calls Miri. She drives around trying to save as many people as possible. It's made clear that Miri is much more than just an ambulance, and Taka has a deep connection with her personified transportation. Miri is able to repair bones, diagnose illnesses, speed up healing, provide quarantine, and a million other things that any EMT would kill to be able to do outside of a hospital.
It's also a mobile fortress. Like, there's all kinds of defensive armatures.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get there.
Okay.
So,
spoilers.
Spoiler alert. Like, the podcast isn't just spoilers. Taka is trying to help.
Butter.
Honestly, if I could, like, okay, so Last Podcast on the Left Network has
ripped us off.
No, they'll like have mini series, and it'll be deep dive series, and it'll be like a series like Henry Zabrowski did Dune. So they go into these series, and that's the only reason I ever got interested in Dune, is because I listened to this mini series and I was like, oh, actually the way that it's talked about now, I'm really interested in it. And that's how I'd love for people to be able to approach books in this way.
It's like, oh, this might actually be my jam.
Yeah. But then some people absolutely hate spoilers and don't want to know anything before going into it, in which case, hope they're not here. Taka is trying to help all of the people she can that are affected by Behemoth, but she knows she is fighting a losing battle. She offers mercy kills and what little help Miri can provide. When we switch to her perspective, she's haunted by a mistake she made that cost many lives. She left her network connection open, letting an Eminem, Meltdown Madonna, breach the local environment, and the end result was the death of everyone in the vicinity. This is the scene where Ken and Lenny appear. They ambush Taka, or at least directly after. This is the scene where Ken and Lenny appeared. They ambush Taka. Someone somewhere is shooting out these bio canisters with an oozing fluorescent pink goo, and Ken is set on figuring out who. But he's, as you were saying, he's knowledgeable about what's going on with Miri, or what's going on, how Miri is built to an extent.
First thing he does is, hijack the mobile death trap and then proceeds to take all the death out of it.
Right. Because it says in the book, like, Taka could literally, there's like certain code words and immediately it'll just kill everyone, or she could lock it and it'll gas everyone inside of it.
And I like the little code names for them too. Like if she says Bagheera, which is, it's the tiger in Jungle Book, I think.
Oh.
Yeah. So like if she says Bagheera, then, anybody that takes over the steering wheel that's not her, doesn't match her genetics, will instantly get gassed and die.
But of course, Ken handles that like a champ. He
talks Lenny through how to take out all the death traps like it's,
nothing.
Yeah.
Regular Tuesday for this guy. He is quite the professional.
Well, the perks of staying hard, baby.
Can't scratch it.
Amazing.
Goes hard in the paint.
They're breaching this area and they're using the fluorescent canisters.
Mm-hmm. Someone's lobbing these things over from somewhere.
From who knows where. No one knows where.
Poo-poo town.
And we don't know what's in these things. We just know somebody's shooting things
at people.
Yeah.
In areas. Taka is convinced that it's because of her, though, because of the Eminem. And
residents of stupid town.
No.
Throwing shit at Gubin and the Merry Mobile. Because they done kill some people.
You're making my job so hard.
That's my job.
Okay.
And mine as well today.
2v1, bro.
Yeah.
Get with it. Get good, scrub.
I'm going to have to.
Or get pwned.
So, Ken's like, okay, we're going to figure out where these canisters are coming from. So he's like, pulling Taka. He's like, where? Where is it coming from? And she's like, I don't know. And then he's like, bitch, remember. And then she suddenly remembers. And he is like, okay, I'm going to go find this shit.
Is that how they sounded in the audiobook?
exactly like that.
That's fucking crazy. You really did your research.
It's eerie. It's uncanny.
It's uncanny. It's almost as if she did it.
So Taka is now kind of saddled with Lenny for a little bit. And when they meet, Lenny realizes pretty quickly that giving Taka her real name is gonna reveal a bit too much backstory. And so she introduces herself as Lori.
And well, the way she does it, she was like asking her name, and she was like, "My name is Lori." That's not suspicious at all.
Well,
But
and
Taka just rolls with it.
but also Taka like she'll, because of course it's Lenny, so she's still head to toe covered in her Rifter gear from Starfish. She's unwell.
Stinky.
That's a thing. So
Can your skin even breathe in that thing?
yeah, that's the thing. So Taka is like she's perfect in every way. Justice for Taka.
Girl crush.
So, well, because she's so sweet. Like, she wants to do what is right. She wants to help people.
Which is the opposite of every other character in this book so far.
Of everyone. Much, yeah. So,
it's like
Lori.
If Pammy was in this situation.
You don't want to connect your mom to this character.
Not this character, but I'm saying, like, if Pammy was in this reality, she wouldn't be like pillaging villages or anything.
But hold that thought.
You don't.
Okay.
This is not going to end well
Tragic.
For you. I'm so mad.
Good things don't happen to good people in this world.
I'm so mad. Ken goes on his personal little quest to find out more about the bombings, and Taka and Lenny feed some of the dead bodies to Miri, and then they ride around just kind of like helping the Gen Pop. So Ken is on his way to retrieve whatever
biologics supposedly are in these canisters that have been lobbed over.
And then Lenny and Taka together. Taka takes care of Lenny. Like, she is concerned for Lenny. Like, this man and this woman just ambushed her. And she's still like, you're wearing, like, not a haptic, but the Rifter skin. Your skin can't breathe. Like, you need to get out of that. Like, your skin needs to see the sunlight. It needs to breathe. And Lenny, of course, is like, nah, I'm good. Well, and then she's got her contacts in. And while they're riding around helping, like, there's these little boys that see the contacts and they're terrified because, like, she has these bright white eyes. And Taka keeps bringing up that, you know, it's reminding her of something. And of course, it's reminding her of a Rifter. And she doesn't put together quite yet that this is Lenny Clark of the Lennys, not just a random person.
Yeah, so at this point in the story, so much time has passed from the beginning of the story, you know, that the world's falling apart and she doesn't even remember the Rifters being a problem.
Well, because the Rifters and the corpses, I mean, just their underwater war, so not even, like, you know, what all was happening
topside.
Yeah, that was 5 years. So it's been a while.
A lot's gone down in those 5 years.
Stuff's happened. And Lenny has no idea. And that's another thing she'll bring up pretty often is like, how do you not know this? Like, she calls Miri an ambulance. And she's like, nah, this is a mobile. A battle mobile. This is a battle mobile. And she has to fill Lenny in on a lot of stuff.
That would be basic knowledge to anybody that hasn't been living under a rock for 5 years.
Or
in the ocean.
Ocean Man. Ocean Master. Is that what it was? The fucking.
So we have like the sweetest, and it's all going to go literally downhill from here. We have the really comforting best part, and that is Lenny is, I think she's like sitting on Miri, and, you know, Taka has told her multiple times, like, hey, you should take the contacts out, blah, blah, blah. And she finally does. And she takes out her contacts and she watches a sunset. And we see in that moment a lot of humanity from Lenny. and we see her looking around and kind of seeing people as people and seeing Taka and how she handles everything that's happening and how she is persistently kind to these people, how she is, no matter, even if they're going to die, she's like, I'll kill you for you if that's what you need. Just willing self-sacrifice to the max, but doing it because, not because she wants to be a martyr of any sort, but because she genuinely just cares that much. So, very beautiful. I think Lenny is kind of seeing who she could have been, or more of the person that she could have been if she wasn't, given the implanted trauma.
So damaged.
So we never find out, like, who she was before, why they chose her.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask, because
we never find that out. So don't even think about it.
Don't even worry about it, dude.
Don't even worry about it.
It's not important.
Not important.
Peter Watts just be doing shit. He'd be doing
at this point.
Like, you could have done so much with that would have made it, I'm not gonna say more interesting, but it would have built on the complexity of things. But instead of just like throwing that idea completely out of the window, it seems like kind of a waste.
So there, from what I understand, there's certain criteria that they picked the Rifters for, certain traits that would make them be suitable for that job. But trauma was a big part of that. And she had ticked a bunch of the boxes that Rifters need to tick without having the actual trauma. So they were just like, oh, hey, we can implant this trauma and then she'd be perfect for it.
Sure, yes. But there's something about, because she doesn't even remember signing up for this shit. And maybe she didn't. But there's something about, like, it has nothing to do with the job she was hired for me, or the job she was hired to do for me. The issue is that she went on a whole rampage. Like, she is the reason Behemoth is destroying the world, for the most part. And not that it couldn't have in other ways. It could have happened other ways. But to then find out that everything you've done to, like, destroy the world and traumatize yourself
is based on a lie.
Piss poor lie, because it was implanted in your brain literally just so you could work underwater. Anyway, Ken Lubin comes back with a goo canister.
Ooh, Goobin's goo.
Lindy Goobin.
What happens when you're hard 24/7, dude?
Jesus
Sometimes
Christ.
the little goo canisters be popping up.
Can relate.
I usually
I'm glad.
on in a t-shirt out of canister, but each their own. Goobin just built different, dude.
Glad you're having such a good time.
Why are my socks so stiff?
Oh no. All right. So Ken went to the area that Taka had pointed out where she thought the canisters were being
deployed.
Thank you. His deduction is someone is possibly trying to spread a virus that will kill Behemoth. So pink goo, good goo. We thought it was bad, but actually is probably good, because goo is going to make Behemoth not viable.
Well, we think pink goo good because we did some preliminary research and it seems like it's good, so we're going to just call it good.
I'm waiting for the moment when you tell me it
has a bunch of recessive genes that are terrible. Oh yeah, we're good there.
Everybody gets widow's peaks.
Hey.
Cody's widow peak. Still standing strong.
Look, I try to get him to cut it straight, so it's like kind of camouflaged.
Tragic.
It's funny.
Yeah, I grew up looking like Eddie Munster. So I want to know what a widower's peak looks like.
That's a good question.
So it would have to be.
Is it in the back?
It would have. I'm thinking.
I'm a fucking youth pastor's V-neck, but you got a hair on your neck.
So I'm thinking it's actually like inverse. So they have like a curve, but then their hair goes back right here,
like alien ant farm. Yeah,
amazing.
Oh god. Okay. Sorry, pink goo canister. They think it's a good thing. Goobin's goo.
In the culture, it appears to be attacking Behemoth.
Okay.
Yep. So they think someone's trying to spread it to kill Behemoth. The gang is not sure why someone would do this, but their goal is to get the pink goo into as many people as possible. So Taka takes the goo to Miri. Miri does a preliminary examination with as much information as they possibly can. Says, goo good. Let's fill everybody full of it. So
Goofin's gonna be busy, dude.
They have what they call runners. One of the runners' name is Ricketts. And these people, so sometimes these people do different things, but basically it's people who have transportation or means to get further away, so it has a bigger radius to spread.
The apocalyptic version of Pony Express.
Correct. So they distribute the pink goo to a handful of people, and Ricketts is one of these people. He's this kind of funny dude who's just a little backwards. I don't know. He just reminds me of almost Hills Have Eyes situation.
He gets one good look at Lenny though, and he likes what he sees.
He's real interested in Lenny.
She's exotic.
She's very intriguing.
She doesn't have any scars and has all her teeth. I'm for it.
Yeah, it's weird.
So it's like the reaction of redneck guys on Facebook finding a hemo girl and adding her.
Yeah, but
Precisely.
at a gas station instead of Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I got it.
Yeah. Yeah. So Ken and Lenny leave Taka, sort of. And Taka is going through town trying to, inform as many people that pink goo good, as well as, spread it out as much as she can. But then she is getting, Matt, get down. Your greed is biblical.
Epic.
I'm literally petting Dexter Maxwell.
Mm-hmm.
So Taka is in this town, and she's staying really later than she should, because remember, in the last book, what is left of the government will cleanse any area via scorched earth. So we have these fire brigades that are literally just setting everything to flame.
It's like a hot balloon.
It's a reverse firefighter
of death.
Yeah.
They're called lifters, and they do everything but lift your spirits.
I don't know if you remember, but Amitav,
the stick man.
Yeah.
He became a real stick man when he was roasted. Taka stays in this town a little longer than she should, and she is being closed in on and we're looking at her perspective, and she's just being closed in on by the lifter, or lifters. Then we jump to Ken and Lenny's perspective, and they see a Taka sitting outside of Miri, crying and talking to a botfly.
Okay, so right here, I want to interject and kind of put my 2 cents in, because at this point in the book, I was really kind of taken aback because the way that it was drawn out, or the way that it was, I truly believed the way it was described that Taka was dead.
I did too.
Yeah, because it's talking about how she finally, she's running from these walls of flames, and she gets pinned and has nowhere to go. And she's in this little square patch of a parking lot with flames surrounding her on all sides. And she just kind of kneels down and accepts the fact that she's going to be barbecue. And she even talks about how she can feel the asphalt giving way under her knees because of how hot it is. And she thinks to herself, wow, my skin's not even wet from sweat. It's just evaporating from the heat so fast. Somebody should write a paper about that. And not that it matters, because nothing matters anymore. And then it just cuts away to Ken and Lenny's perspective. And so I was left thinking, well, she's roast.
Mm-hmm.
The whiplash of being from Taka's perspective to now being at Ken and Lenny's perspective. So we find out that the botfly talking to Taka is Desjardins.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! So we didn't even know, at this point, he was alive.
Yeah, they had assumed that he wasn't, probably.
Yeah, because so many of their contacts topside had died in the war. So, of course, they don't realize it's him until they get down there to her, and they're like, what the fuck is happening right now? However, when Taka's talking to Killjoy, she puts a lot of stuff together. She understands who Lenny is. A lot of stuff is explained to her by Desjardins, from my understanding. And she's not happy. She's not, like, I mean, I'm sure she feels betrayed, but, like, it's mostly like, oh, you had so much to do with what's going on, and, like, I'm just now finding out. And Lenny also seems to take psychic damage from knowing that this woman that she had bonded with so strongly is now aware of what she's done. I mean, she's already, like, traumatized by the fact that she
Right, but she likes
killed
the
everybody.
anonymity of it all.
Well, I mean, she just didn't want. She already holds so much shame and guilt for being the person, the meltdown Madonna that caused so much of this.
Right.
Having someone that I think she was, like, kind of role playing
Being a normal
normalcy.
person.
Yeah, for as much as she could. Apparently, the pink goo is killing everyone.
Huh. Shocker.
Desjardins is like, yeah, so I'm cleansing the area because I'm trying to get rid of that shit. And now you have single-handedly
Help spread it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, see, we're looking at each other because we know so much. We know too much.
I know nothing.
Much too little at the same time.
Yeah.
Quite a spectacle.
I'm so mad. So, Desjardins, Lenny, Lubin have a little powwow. Killjoy is like, listen, what are they called? Lawbreakers. The lawbreakers have a lot fewer resources than they used to. I specifically am trying to kind of, like, be on the DL, be able to, like, move parts that I wouldn't be able to if I wasn't blah, 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 all this stuff. Well, Lenny's like, fuck. Damn. Taka's like, ah! And then we have Lubin, who's like, well, I need your help. I only came up here in the first place to figure out who's trying to fuck up Atlantis. Back at the end of last book, you remember how Lenny had found, or no, back at the end of Maelstrom, Lenny had found Atlantis and she told Rowan, like, you can be here, but you can't leave here. How they found Atlantis was through Desjardins.
Right.
He was the one who put together all of the patterns to pinpoint where Atlantis was. Lubin's like, look, I need your help. There's a third party who is fucking our shit up, and they are going to ruin Atlantis. They are going to make that not a safe place. Desjardins like, well, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. I need this pink goo contained. So how about you go hunt down every single motherfucker you gave the pink goo to? And Lubin's like, well, yeah, I guess. I am pretty good at that. Or Desjardins looks at Taka, and he's like,
I need your help.
Also, you could help me. You seem pretty smart. Why don't you come do research with me? And we can get more done on this pink goo nonsense. And then Lenny's just like, fuck, man.
Where is he?
Where's the fuck man?
Where is the fuck man?
You don't want to.
Oh, well, yeah, he's inviting Taka over to.
Anyway.
Only talk to Desjardins. The one thing I know about his story arc thus far, only talk to that man through FaceTime. Don't meet him in person.
Yeah, he's not the kind of guy you want to be in the same room as.
Oh, we're going to take a break for food.
Break time.
All right.
Oh, before we start, can I just tell you my favorite quote from this book?
Sure.
Incompetence isn't as clearly cut and dry as deliberate malice.
So Taka said that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Taka is too hard on herself. Taka ended up killing people on accident because she fucked something up because she was incompetent. But I think it does make a difference.
It do.
Taka was a wonderful person.
Yeah.
Okay, so Desjardins makes a deal with Ken Lubin that he will try to figure out who was trying to sabotage Atlantis, if Lubin will track down anyone that, was given the pink goo and quote-unquote deal with it. Lubin's pretty kill-hungry, so he's down to clown. Lubin be Gubin. And then Taka is invited to go to Desjardins' hideaway and to start working on a cure for Pink Goo 9000.
Doesn't end well.
No. So, in the meantime, while, Kin's off, Taka's leaving, Lenny just rides around in Miri, and she basically tries to be a Taka. Taka had said that stuff about being incompetent, but she obviously still really wanted to help people, and that really hit home for Lenny. It's really weird that you brought that up, and that was like my next bit. Kind of weird. Well, guess what?
What?
Desjardins takes Taka.
Oh no.
Drugs her.
Oh no.
Strips her.
Bill Cosby.
Totally. And puts her on like a gurney type of situation.
Oh shit.
Catheters are up.
Ooh, catheters.
And
an articulating exoskeleton at some point.
Oh no, a power suit from Fallout 4.
That positions you like a rag doll.
I don't recall this. Probably blocked it out. So
he roofied her.
And put her in the Sex Sling 3000.
Correct. But when she gets there, it's not him that does it. It's like a team of people that like grab her. Well,
Mini Cosby's. It's the family.
They don't even know what's going on. They're just following orders.
Little Bill and his gang.
Don't clap at yourself. Don't clap. You don't deserve a clap.
You definitely don't deserve a pudding cup.
Or maybe you do.
With or without the roofies.
With, preferably.
Hell yeah.
Have your way.
So she does make the connection later that she doesn't think these people are actually aware of what he's doing to women. But she is detained, and he makes it a game of sorts where he will ask her questions about the pink goo, see if she gets it right or not. She gets it right, she gets lightly raped and abused. And if she gets it wrong, she gets
tortured.
Basically. So one thing to point out is that he calls her Alice. He understands that that is Taka, but he calls her Alice. I don't know if you remember. Do you remember who Alice is?
Alice is the one that took him off his leash.
Oh.
Yeah. She was his friend who created Spartacus to unchain the lawbreakers from
Django Unchained.
Yeah, from their
it was called Trip.
Yeah, their trips.
Guilt Trip. Oh. And if you remember, do you remember like Alice finding Alice coming over, him thinking that
he found his search history?
Basically.
He left his VR headset on the bed, and she went to go pet the cat and just like picked it up and was like, "Oh, that's me. Oh, this is terrible. What is he doing to me?"
So also previously in the other book, there's a body that's like crumpled on the ground dead. And he makes this comment about the girl's name being Alice. And he's like, I wonder if that's a coincidence or not. Well, yeah, so every woman he's torturing, obviously it seems to have started with Alice, but he calls them all Alice.
Class act.
We learn that he's doing this kind of stuff to tons of women, and he's getting away with it because everyone is more focused on the end of the world. So he has a lot of access because of his lawbreaker status, which is still somewhat intact.
And everybody looks the other way because as long as you're saving the world, who cares if you kill and torture women?
I'm telling you, for the rest of this book, I'm just mad. So let's get back to Lenny. She sees Ricketts. He comes back, one of the dudes we sent off with the pink goo, and he's not doing so hot. He already was missing his teeth, but
now he's got the flu.
The pink goo flu.
Oh, this is the guy who had the hots for Lenny.
Yeah. He is very sick. And instead of calling Killjoy and the fire squad to cleanse the area, including Ricketts, she takes Ricketts to her and Ken's underwater ship, the submarine situation that they took to get to this harbor.
Right.
Originally, she was going to quarantine him in Miri, but then she was like, well, if he's in Miri, then I can't go around fixing up other people, so let's take him to the submarine.
Right. There's a lot of the book that talks about what happens while they're down in the submarine. Nothing, like, he's deteriorating, and he's coated in this very thin layer, kind of like what happened underwater with that guy who got infected with Behemoth. But basically, Ricketts is coated in a way that is not going to allow the infection to spread to Lenny. And they're just together the whole time, and she has a really hard time leaving him, and he's not well. He's just very unwell, but he is very happy to be around Lenny because he's like, oh, Lenny. And she's like, you fucking idiot. But she also, at the same time, thinks that it's kind of adorable that he's a fucking idiot.
He's doped up to the gills at this point, so he probably feels better now than he has his entire life.
Yep. She has him hooked up in the submarine, so he's constantly getting medicine, constantly getting pain relief. She gives him some kind of interface that's available, not necessarily to connect to the internet, but I think he eventually does. He bypasses something.
And she's like, here's this tablet for entertainment purposes only. Then he proceeds to hack into the mainframe. His first thing when she comes in there and he's like, wow, this code is so clean. There's nothing in there, no wildlife or anything. And she's like, what are you doing? Like, what did you do?
Yeah. What was it called? The section of
Haven?
It was Haven?
Yeah.
That's where the lawbreakers normally worked, was in Haven because it was so clean, and that's what he hacked into. So instead of being in Maelstrom, where I believe that's where he normally worked.
Yeah, it's just pop-ups and fucking meltdown Madonnas and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. While this is happening, we skip this part, but we're going to have to backtrack a little bit. So remember, Taka killed all those people because she accidentally let a meltdown Madonna into the area. Well, whenever she turned off everything and all the death started happening, the code of a Lenny got stuck inside Miri. So Ken surgically removed the memory bank that held that meltdown Madonna, or a version, because there's billions of them.
Mm-hmm.
And Lenny has access to it. She kept it. She was supposed to destroy it, but she kept it. So she gets Ricketts. She's like, look, you can code, right? And Ricketts like, yeah, about as much as anyone else. And she's like, okay, well, let me talk to this thing. And she gives him a meltdown Madonna, and he's like, that's not how this works. But eventually they do get through to the meltdown Madonna.
Well, basically, she's like, can I talk to it? And because every time I turn it on, she just crashes the system. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, yeah, that's what they do. But especially not with this much memory. Like, she's running up against the wall immediately. If you give her a little more room, then she'll probably last a little longer and you can talk to it.
Yeah. She's like destroying everything available until everything shuts down. Well, eventually they do get to the point where she is able to add in a little bit of code into the meltdown Madonna, and the code is basically just saying, like, because she talks to her, and basically it becomes like, we are the same, and we should, like, kind of protect each other.
So there's this underlying thought in the back of Lenny's head that, this meltdown Madonna, Lenny virus used to be on my side. And it used to help me back when it was an enemy. Well, now it's like devolved into this hostile thing that, shreds everything it touches. But maybe the code is still there, buried somewhere, and I can wake the fucker with a kiss. And that's basically what she gets Ricketts to do, even though he's on his deathbed, is, hey, you can code. Here, try to, figure out why this is the way it is, and maybe we can change it back to where it'll be on my side again.
Ken has his own little journey, not super crazy important in my opinion. Yeah, I'm a hater, and I'll explain that more in the end. Anyway, if Ken has no haters, I'm dead. So he goes on his little trek to find anyone that has had contact with pink goo. He beats some people up. He wants to kill people, but redemption arc, he chooses not to because he's able to make his own decisions. Anyway, I need to...
Lame.
Yeah. So lame. So redemption arc, he does kind of make his own decisions, and he ends up not killing people. He's just kind of like collecting stuff and letting people die off, whatever. Then we find out.
What do we find out? The tension's killing me. It's the suspense.
Desjardins the bad guy.
The whole time?
The whole time.
The whole time.
Desjardins the bad guy.
Killjoy kills Joy.
Who could have possibly seen it coming?
No one ever, except everyone.
I literally was saying that the whole entire time at the beginning, and I was like, I don't want to say it because it's pretty obvious. Like, he's like, oh, I'll help you if you help me. And I'm like, you're the fucking bad guy. Like,
yeah, I'll figure out who's been snooping around Atlantis for you if you do these things for me. I've been the one snooping around Atlantis the whole time.
You know, he's torturing Taka. And in between trying to basically fight for her life, she eventually has this realization that he asks how the pink goo reproduces, basically. And she comes to the conclusion, she finally puts everything together and she figures out that yes, the pink goo does make people sick, but at some point it reaches a threshold and they get better and it kills Behemoth. The pink goo is the antithesis to what Desjardins has. And if the pink goo continues, the world gets better. He no longer has control that he does currently to basically just abuse a gajillion women. And kill them, by the way, because he's like doing this until they die.
right.
And then just tossing the bodies because he has absolutely lost his connection with reality.
Hot garbage of a person.
Hot garbage of a person. So we find out through Taka's perspective, like, everything that's happening, and he's literally just, like, chopping off her boob until it flops off. And it's real gross. It's real icky. And we find out everything about pink goo flu. About the same time, Lenny also finds out that pink goo flu is actually not that bad.
Right.
So Ken and Lenny meet up. Lenny tells Ken about rickets. Rickets is actually better.
Right.
Because pink goo flu, eventually you're fine.
Yeah, it wrecks your stuff for a while, but once it gathers up so much concentration, it flips all these recessive genes and then kills itself off. And after it's gone, Behemoth is gone also.
And it's like whoever's putting it out, which we never find out, whoever is distributing it is doing it for the sake of humanity. Well, I say we never find that out. I think someone said something about in South Africa they developed it.
Yeah.
But we don't, like, know those people or know their backstory. I just don't even want to get to it. Ken's like, what the fuck? Lenny's like, what the fuck? They don't know about Taka. No one knows about Taka. But they figure out that, like, the only person that could have done all of these things are Desjardins. Like, Desjardins is the culprit.
Might as well just call her Tata.
Okay. I'm sleeping in a different room tonight.
Justice for Tatas. Gone but never forgotten.
I wonder if he kept it and
holding
like
a big old
memory
mammary
or something.
He didn't care that much.
Oh, fair. That's fair.
It's obtaining a big mammary section of my brain. You know? Good memories.
That one actually wasn't too bad.
Memories to remember forever.
in loving memory.
Oh my god.
In heart and memory.
Okay, so Ken and Lenny, they're gonna go kill the bad guy or do something to Desjardins. We don't really know what the plan is. Plan is to maybe, like, do something. But since now she has a version of a Meltdown Madonna that will kind of, like, be friends with itself,
right.
She lets that go into the wild and it starts reproducing rapidly. Because now when it encounters another Lenny, it's like, hey, babe.
Yeah, instead of everything attacking itself, now they're like, oh, kinship selection. Like, you're part of me, I'm part of you. Let's work together.
Yeah.
Right.
So, well, what that allows, basically, Anemone is rebuilt. And now everything that Desjardins is trying to control is being halted by the Lennies, the just overflow of the Lennies. That gives them some room to have a bit more of an edge in the fight. And then they're like, okay, well, we're going to try to, like, sneak off into whatever facility this is that Desjardins is doing all of his work from.
Cut to Mission Impossible style. Let's sneak into this bitch on a lifter.
Does not go well.
Horrible.
Yeah. So randomly, Lenny's afraid of heights.
Yeah. Not afraid of being 3,000 miles below, sea level. Yeah. But
also, like, she's done so much throughout this entire series, and now she's afraid of heights.
Yeah. I'm willing to die for literally any reason. But, not stepping on a ladder.
Yeah. And Ken gets his shit wrecked. Was he lose an arm or something?
The cable snaps and slaps him in the face, and he loses both his eyeballs.
That's what happens. He becomes blind. So they land in a vicinity, almost like a patio, basically. And they are greeted by a bunch of robot dogs. Well, these dogs are more like, it is
the Boston Dynamics dog.
A bunch of Boston Dynamic dogs
with machine guns. They got guns.
Well, they're genetically modified. They're actual biological dogs.
Yeah,
but yeah, they're beefed up to the gills.
They got guns.
I mean, they probably do, and opposable thumbs to use them.
They're very dangerous.
They are.
At this point, I wrote in my notes, the ending is really pissing me off.
Robert,
it's pissing me off. So from this point on, starting with the fear of heights, Lenny is officially the most incapable woman you've ever met.
Turns into a blubbering pile of nope. I'm noping out.
Just cannot think, cannot function. Does not matter that she was like in a war for 5 years. Does not matter that previous to that she was working underwater.
All that shit's out the window.
And all that shit's out the window.
Instantly proves to Ken that, yes, I am a liability. I will slow you down.
Yeah, but like this is what like...
You know what else is the
This is not her character. That's what gets me mad, is like this is not Lenny Clark.
But yeah, the main traits that make her who she is, just thrown completely out the window.
Completely out the window. She's like listening. Ken's like, you're gonna have to, like, I can't see, but if you can give me like a clock, like 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, tell me where they are. We're gonna get through this. She's like, I can't shoot a gun. A gun? Like, she's like freaking out.
Wasn't she on the beach and she shot a gun and it blew up a kid and killed it?
Yeah.
That was a stun gun for fish.
Yeah.
Well, apparently for children, it works great.
Better than it does for fish, actually.
Yeah. So
it's just pink mist to this guy.
Jesus Christ. So she's freaking out. He's like, we can just get through this. We can get through this, Lenny. And eventually the dogs are called off. And they are allowed to go forward into like this area where they're kind of like gassed. And since they're both like genetically modified, they're able to like push themselves through the gassing.
Well, so I'm just going to interject here and say that they've got those little chest machinery for living in the deep sea.
Right.
So what they do is they take a little bit of water, which has oxygen in it, and the little bit of residual water in their chest cavity, they take a piece of tape and tape over the little inlet. So, they're basically breathing like they would underwater. So they get gassed, but they're not even breathing the actual air.
And this allows them to get past that security measure.
But there are more.
Are there?
Induction fields. This has been Science Corner with Cody.
Give some more details, because I think...
big ass microwave is what it sounds like to me.
It basically is. So, like, Lenny, when they finally get to Desjardins in this little building or whatever, he's, like, surprised that they've made it this far. Classic villain trope.
But then, like, why are the dogs called off?
Because first of all, Desjardins didn't know that Ken was blind and thought that he would have to put up much more of a fight. But then as they're dealing with the dogs...
But also he doesn't want to hurt Lenny. Right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wait till she gets up in there and the memories are gone.
You've got to do the supervillain reveal.
Yeah, he's literally... God, I'm so mad. Okay, so they eventually get through the induction field. And they break into where Killjoy is, and everyone's talking for a bit. That's all we're doing. We're chit-chatting.
Monologuing.
We're monologuing. So Lenny's like, how could you? And then Lubin's like, how could you? And, huh?
They're all aura farming.
What does that mean?
Aura farming?
Do you know what that means?
I mean, yeah.
Do you know what that means?
How old are you?
Old enough to know what aura farming is. How old are you?
You're too old to know what aura farming is, actually.
I had to look it up.
Tell me what it is.
So, okay.
You're clout chasing.
So, sidebar, you know, like superhero movies where they're like they do some like offhandedly stupid shit that's way too extra. Like I'm standing right here to you. I do a front flip and then kick you in the head. Why in the fuck would I do a front flip? Why wouldn't I just walk up and kick you in the head?
Because it's cooler.
It's like showing off. Like, I have the ability to do this, so I'm going to do this. Or it's like Superman is kind of weak, so he'll go up into space and just stand in front of the red sun and be like, yeah, I'm going real strong up here. It's like, why are you doing that, bro? Why don't you just get under like big ass, solar ray or something? Like, it's just stupidly it's like overly dramatic because you can, pretty much. That's what aura farming is.
So I'm the opposite of that. I'm the type that'll go to spit and the spit lands on my shoulder. Yeah.
Just trying so hard.
Like I'm cool, and then immediately defaces
underly capable.
Fuck. Life is hard.
So, monologue.
Yeah, they're aura farming.
Killjoy is like, don't do anything about what's happening, Ken. You are just like me, and tries to like basically connect with him over being a lawbreaker and being a sociopath. And Lenny, again, is now a wet noodle. So she's just like, eh. And he's like, yeah, Lenny is the perfect victim. So just like leave her here with me, and that'll be mine. And we can just keep doing this until like the world ends, maybe.
Yeah, and you can live like a king, like I have been.
Kill whoever you want. It'll be fun. The only way that he's keeping them at an arm's reach at this point is he's threatening to blow up Atlantis. He's got like a visual showing like, this is Atlantis. It will be non-existent if you don't leave me the fuck alone. Because that's basically what he's giving as like an assurance. So he's like, got this doomsday weapon. I'm gonna blow up Atlantis. Ken's standing there. Lenny, wet noodle.
And the timer's ticking, by the way. Like, this is already like set. Like, Atlantis is gonna blow up in such and such amount of time. This is how much time you have to decide.
And Ken says, fuck it, and shoots him in the head.
Blam!
Word.
And it's over.
It's the end of the book?
That's the end.
Well,
go ahead.
It's the end. It's the end of anything important.
No, it's the fucking end.
Yeah, that's it.
Do we find Taka's body? No.
No.
Do we figure out anything about Lenny? No. She did at first think maybe like the doomsday weapon thing for Atlantis was a joke and maybe like people were still alive. No, it does blow up.
And they all die.
That's the end of it?
Yeah.
So it does kind of, there's a little bit of the Seppuku changing everything. So we're going to just reach back a little further. We skipped some stuff. There's these bugs that you find out have like more legs than they're supposed to. And Taka's just like, oh yeah, they've been popping up here randomly for a while. And, you find out about the Seppuku, which is the pink goo, how it basically, changes everything and it kills Behemoth. Well, another fun fact is that it fundamentally alters the DNA of anything it comes into contact with.
Mm-hmm.
So the world as we know it, now that it won't be ravaged by Behemoth, is being forcibly mutated into the unknown. Like, we just don't know what the repercussions are going to be, but humanity will live on, but it won't be humanity as we know it.
Yeah.
It'll be altered
irrevocably. That's a really cool concept that should have been talked about.
And it wasn't. just kind of inferred.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Whole lot of thinking you got to do to read this book.
No, I'm mad. I am so fucking mad. If
you wanted closure?
if Taka, let Taka live and kill him.
I want Taka.
I want Taka.
Justice for Taka.
I want justice for Taka.
Justice for Tata.
I want answers.
How come at the very last moment, after Taka has died, after she has been brutally raped, mutilated, and by the way, through this whole thing, she still has a positive outlook on humanity. She's like, oh yeah, these guys couldn't have known what's happening to me or else they wouldn't have helped him.
Oh, she does. She's the only good person in this whole entire thing.
Yeah. And then, after everything Lenny has been through, after this whole fucking series is about Lenny and her crash out and her redemption, for some reason, the last 30 minutes of this book, she turns into a wet noodle, and it is Ken Lubin who kills the bad guy. Ken Lubin who just, like, has existed. What?
Ken Lubin could have easily been a throwaway character.
Ken Lubin he literally has no skin in any game. He does not give a fuck. He was someone that was kill for hire, whatever.
Killer for hire.
Killer for hire, gun for hire, whatever.
Mercenary.
And he really liked his job.
Had fun with it.
It was one of his best things in life.
He made scenarios to where he had to kill people.
And then he does get like a little bit of a redemption arc where he's like, you know what? I can choose not to kill people. And he does. Good for him. And then he literally steals the entire ending of the series while we've been building up all of this stuff for Lenny.
I think it's misogyny. I think that's what it is. Peter Watts is like,
he's saying
women.
Feminism is too woke.
He's a women.
Feminism too woke.
And Lubin? Yeah. Dudes, he even did it blind. He said 360 no scope for real.
It almost feels like he wrote this whole series and he was like, you know what? I don't feel connected enough to this character. I'm going to do a self-insert into Ken Lubin and we're going to let him take the show from here. I do want to go back to Mandelbrot, though.
You should have just ended the pod. Like, as soon as you're like, and that's it. That's the ending. And it's just top done. No audio.
That's it.
Radio silence.
Okay, so there is a little bit more. There's a little bit more, but it is the end. So we're going to backtrack and circle back around to some things that happened that we didn't tell you about.
Specifically, I wrote a note to go back about Mandelbrot. So Mandelbrot is the cat. Mandelbrot is the only thing that has ever truly mattered to Desjardins.
I have to point out to you that you're mispronouncing the cat's name. It is Mandelbrot, like the fractal pattern.
And I'm saying Brock like a Brock.
Like Eddie Brock. Like
I was thinking about like the hot dog thing.
Those are brats as well.
Brock. Oh shit. Damn.
It's one of Brockwurst.
We're going back to Pep Boys.
We're going back to Hooked on Phonics is what we're doing, dude.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I hate to be that guy, but yeah, the cat's name is very important to me.
Well, yeah, because it has... What's the backstory of the cat's name? I don't remember. It's some science thing, right?
So, yeah, the Mandelbrot set is a fractal pattern that was the very first...
And you are crazy into fractals.
Yeah. For reasons we won't get into in this podcast. But yeah.
Or we might.
Yeah,
so, have you ever listened to the Magnus Archives?
No, I have not.
So, basically, like, there are horrors, which, like, existential horror, like Lovecraft.
I know of them.
Existential horrors, yeah.
Existential.
I live them.
My life is somewhat of a horror itself.
It's less of a cosmic horror and more of a local horror, but yeah.
What we got?
Drop some knowledge.
Yeah.
So you should really listen to the Magnus Archives.
Noted.
It's going to take you a while. I know it's a podcast and not a book. Worth it.
Duly noted.
There's nothing I can recommend more. Okay, so Mandelbrot. Now that I can say it correctly. Cat, what happened to the cat? I don't remember. I know it got fucked up, but I don't remember how it got fucked up.
Fell off a building trying to hold an umbrella. Like
killed, pretty much. And then somebody gets a boner.
Oh no!
Oh no, not again.
So basically, Killjoy's got like all these top level clearances because he's, this super badass lawbreaker. Well, his cat also has the same exact top level clearances. Funny story. Cat goes wherever he does, so cat wanders into a section that he's not supposed to be in, and Killjoy is at this point like deeply immersed into some thing that he's doing to end the world, probably. But the cat wanders into this little section, and there's these rabid dogs that basically turn him into a chew toy. Yeah. And this alarm goes off, and Desjardins knows and understands all of the alarms that could ever go off. But this one strikes him a little differently. He's like, wait a minute, what is that? I've never heard that one before. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh shit, my cat.
Yep.
So Mandelbrot, completely ravaged by these rabid dogs, comes in just like limping, wet noodle, bleeding, meowing pitifully. And Desjardins like, oh my God, freaking out for the first time the whole series. And he's just like so emotional.
The first time he's ever seen caring about anything.
It's really the first time you ever see him have any emotion other than pleasure out of somebody else's pain.
Right.
So immediately his first thought is, oh, I've got to help her. You got to call somebody who can help. So he calls her vet, which, 3 a.m., somebody's calling you. You wake up, answer the phone, and they're like, my cat, you got to help my cat. And this guy who used to be a vet, but now that the world's gone to shit and everybody's dying, hadn't been a vet for years because there's priorities. It's like, how dare you call me about your fucking cat when the world is ending? Do you know what time it is? It's 3 a.m. Fuck off.
Desjardins cut his titties off.
Desjardins cut his titties off. So he's laying there, just got off the phone with the vet that's not a vet anymore, and proceeds to watch Mandelbrot die in his arms.
And this is like the last vestige that
It was the only sliver of humanity that he had left.
Yeah.
And it breaks viscerally. So what does Killjoy do? He hops into a botfly and goes over to this guy's house who he called to save his cat, and basically sets an induction field that, neurologically paralyzes him, wakes him up, and goes on this long spiel about,
you should have held my cat, bastard.
You really fucked up when you didn't come over and save my cat. Now you're going to watch anything and everything that you've ever loved die. And he's got a wife and kid. Like, believe it's a baby. Is it an infant?
I don't remember.
I can't remember, but it's a young child.
Right.
Botfly proceeds to roast his loved ones in front of him, then proceeds to
kill him. Because it can't get out that Killjoy is doing any of these things, because he's already like kind of listening in and trying to make sure he's not being found out, or at least that no one cares enough to find him out.
And some people are getting mighty suspicious about lawbreakers that are kind of doing things that they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah. Because he's not the only one that's been
busted.
Yeah. Like, Spartacus has been distributed to all of the lawbreakers, from my understanding.
Which he, to his credit, Desjardins did take out a bunch of the people that had guilt trip removed from Spartacus by way of the Rio incident, which is basically where a lot of the lawbreakers were, like, headquartered. And he just drops a nuke from space and kills all of them.
And
he's
twisted
around the way he does it is, I was saving the world because Behemoth was there.
Right.
That's a lot, honestly.
It's a really touching moment, though, when he was sitting there, mourning his cat. Like, I was like, oh, that's the only human sliver he had.
Justice for Taka.
But yeah.
I just want you to know that the note specifically that I have here, this is literally the
fuck this guy's cat.
Fuck this guy's cat. This is literally the last line of all of my notes. It says, and then there's stuff with Mandelbrot. Again, this is after I finished reading the book. This is me reminding myself to put this in. Question mark, question mark. The cat that ended up dying, and the vet wasn't willing to give him the time of day, so he, like, killed his family, right? Question mark. Like what? Question mark.
That's a pretty fair assessment. Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. So we talked about it off air, but I think if there was any redemption for this, it would have to be done by a much more capable Peter Watts, present day Peter Watts, I hope. And I would love to see like the character from one of the resistant groups in Maelstrom, their storyline, and then have it connect more reasonably to this storyline. It can be tragic. Just give me someone like Taka and don't kill them, or at least keep their boobs on.
Yeah, and like flesh out some of these dead end storylines.
Yes. Give me more.
Because there's a lot of emotional investment made throughout the book that you're like, oh, I got to hold on to this because this is going to turn out to be something. And then it's just never brought up again.
And sometimes it does turn out to be a little something, but it's not
in a way
satisfying.
that's satisfying. Yeah. It's like a total letdown. You're like, oh.
Well, I think there's a very like fine line in between including information that makes you feel satisfied but doesn't give you hope. Like, I feel like he was using storylines that potentially had like a resolution, and he was using that to vest the interest of the readers instead of just including different, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
so it's definitely not a feel-good book.
Yeah.
And
it's not supposed to be.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, I get the little breadcrumbs leading to nowhere as a, kind of just keep you engaged, thinking that maybe things will work out. But the cold hard facts of this world that this book's written in, no, that's not going to happen. You're going to be sorely disappointed.
Done it differently.
At the end of the day, I do want to say that, like, this is a lot. Yeah. To be your first time writing, you're writing a trilogy-ish. You're keeping up with all of these characters. You're trying to create all of these different storylines, and you do want them to be interwoven. We can tell by some of these, like the Rio add-in, and we're trying to like connect stuff. And it also, I could have never guessed that Lenny was gonna go wet noodle and Ken was gonna shoot Killjoy. And that Killjoy was going to actually matter and not just be like
a throwaway character.
The actual wet noodle.
Yeah.
But I don't like these choices. But I can't say I predicted them. And I think that's worth something. I do like sci-fi. Thought there was some really cool ideas. Wish there were more. Wish he dived a little bit more into those really cool ideas. So, we have now finished our first series as Beansplaining. I think that's really, really cool.
Only took like a year.
Okay, listen.
But we did it.
It's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
Turns out it's the Mandelbrats we met along the way. Okay, so traditionally we rate by beans. My beans 2.5 for whole series out of 5. I'm not going to reread this series. I am willing to give a redemption if if the same universe is rewritten in a different way. I will read Blindsight. I have really high hopes for that.
I hope that doesn't let you down.
Tori's like, then the recommendations from Cody might be burned at that point.
No, actually, I think it's so fun that there was so much to pick apart from this. I mean, I can sit here and bitch all I want. He's the one that wrote a 3-part series, a 4-part series. He's the one that got paid good money to write a 4-part series. He's the one that is a very well-known sci-fi author. And a lot of people sing his praises. So I can be a hater.
In my humble opinion, his books do get way better from here.
Yeah.
So I will give this series 3 beans.
3 full beans.
I think 3 and 2.5 is very fair. So I'm just going to do like 2.75 or 3.
Split the difference.
2.75. I think that's fair for the whole series. I mean, you can tell definitely, at least from what I see, that his world building is very good, but his character building is not. I think overall it was a really good idea. I just feel like maybe not a perfect time for him to write it as a writer. But at the same time, like,
maybe a little ambitious.
Hell of a lot better than mine would have been. I mean,
hell yeah.
I can't write for shit. So, I mean, most I've done is like MLA format essays and stuff like that for middle school. So that tells you, damn near 20 years ago or something like that.
I used to write a lot of cringe poetry as an emo kid.
I wrote haikus.
Someone is going to read this and then make one of those boards with all of the red string, and they're going to be like, actually, you just didn't understand.
I'd love for somebody to, like, do that.
Yeah, I would too, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe now that I've put it out there, that will happen.
Yeah, if any of you listeners want to go ahead and do the whole schizophrenic note board with the strings attached, send that to renlyworks@gmail.com.
Amazing.
Word.
Okay, yeah, we really do got to close out. Thank you guys for listening. Let me know if you actually do read the book. Bye-bye, Beans.
Bye, Beans.
Bye.
Heyo. It's the end of the episode. Thanks for listening. If you liked what you heard, give us a follow to get your weekly dose of beansplaining. Drop a review wherever you get your podcasts and let us know how we're doing. If you have any questions, complaints, or recommendations, please reach out to renlyworks@gmail.com. That's RINLEEWORKS@gmail.com. Bye-bye, Beans.